Real estate only ever goes up. Not. Well, you keep on subscribing, so I must be doing something half right. Welcome back to the Meager Millionaire. Today we're going to talk about something that's going on in BC. Perhaps many of you are not aware, but in fact, short-term rentals in BC are a thing of the past as of May 1st in 2024 here. Please, before I carry on with today's hot topic out of Vancouver Sun, hit that like. Please hit that like, that bell, all the things, subscribe, and let the Meager Millionaire Army march forward. So the article states that people are listing their short-term rentals in BC and some are selling below asking price, which can happen because real estate always doesn't go up. And it is my opinion that perhaps Canada is in the biggest real estate bubble in recorded history, let it be known. So, goes on to say, like Airbnb owners across BC, Deborah Sheets is in a holding pattern. The Victoria resident recently spoke to a realtor about her 250 square foot condo that she purchased back in 2017 in this building downtown Victoria known as the Janyan. She paid $420,000 for it. However, she was told that she would be lucky to get $350,000. Of course, nobody likes to take a loss on anything, especially when this poor woman is near retirement. Goes on to say, with 4 months until the BC NDP's ban on most short-term rentals that aren't in the owner's principal residence takes effect, some Airbnb owners are trying to make as much money as they can before the investment dries up or becomes a liability, while others are panic selling. Now, here at the Meager Millionaire, we're starting to learn about what assets and liabilities are. Assets are what give to you, and liabilities are what take from you. And so, my experience in my little blue house, when I indirectly become a landlord, I learned all about negative cash flowing properties at a very young age. But that's not here nor there. Let's go on to explore this article a little further. Victoria realtor Ira Willie has been showing his clients micro lofts in the Janyan. From what I understand, that building is primarily Airbnb. It's 57 unit building. I believe that there's 50-ish Airbnbs or short-term rentals in that building. But it turns out that the ones that he's showing, these micro lofts, that there's one problem, that none of them are selling. Now, we could all go on realtor.ca and look up Victoria and figure out where the Janyan building is and dig a little deeper into this article, but let's carry on for fun's sake. Willie can only cite one example of a former short-term rental property that sold in Victoria since the legislation come into effect. Oh, so that's a couple months. Only one of these things have sold. And does anybody else see perhaps there might be an issue here? So this was a 464 square foot unit in the Mermaid Wharf overlooking Victoria's Inner Harbor, and it was originally listed for 467,000 Canadian pesos. And I'll let you all take a guess. Just take a guess, something foolish. Guess what it sold for in November? 300,000 Canadian pesos. Now, that's a beatdown, as it's known here at the Meager Millionaire. I hope that nobody ever loses that much money on something they paid way too much for it. That is crazy. And this Mr. Willie, he goes on to say that they got a fair price. Now, do you think that that's fair? You know, you leave in the comments below. I think that maybe the industry got paid multiple times and they really don't give it to what's going on. But as long as the cash is coming in and you know, the thing's moving, like, no, there's no problem here. There's no problem here. I believe that it's, in fact, a massive problem. Let's go on further here. Orion Rogers, who owns one short-term rental in Victoria and manages 30 others, said he saw a lot of Airbnb owners listing their units for sale to kind of get ahead of the market. But the market had already stalled before that. So what do you think that, you know, the big driver here in Victoria is for the market coming to a stall. So the thing about the Meager Millionaire is that he used to own a condo in the Victoria market. And in fact, I sold my condo in 2019. And some might say I was foolish and there was a bunch of money I could have made. And of course, they could be right. But in fact, I think that they're wrong. The reason I believe that they're wrong is because now we have rates that are astronomically higher. What do we know about these buildings? These buildings have, fairly high operating costs when it comes to your strata fees, your electricity, not so much, but the payments are extremely high. And so just for fun, I took, a little bit of my investigative journalism, and I went in and I had a look at what was for sale in the Janie building, and I found one. And so I just kind of run the numbers on a $375,000 unit with a $250 strata fee per month. And I come up to, with no utilities and whatnot, I figured it's going to cost me about $2,200 a month. And then so what I done after that is that I had to look around and see like what one bedroom and loft, apartments in the downtown Victoria core are listing for. And they kind of range between like $1,750 and $2,200 or so. And so you see the problem here that maybe buying these investment vehicles and then putting them on the long-term market whenever your hand is forced, it might not have been the best decision. And so I'm going to pin this article in the comments below here, and I want to know what you guys are seeing. Do you think that perhaps that the federal government will push this ban across the nation? In fact, I know for a thing that Chrystia Freeland has already spoken that she's in favor of what's going on in BC. So let's say that perhaps this goes from the west all the way to the east. Will that affect your investments? Will that affect, if you have short-term rental properties? Is this something that you're bringing in to account? Is something you're factoring in, or is it something that is an impossibility and it's just specifically going to be set in BC? Now, will this bring extra, long-term rentals onto the market? Well, I suppose it depends on how much money the owner of the rental has outstanding on it, and how much margin there is in it for him. Now, if he was like me, or they were like me, whenever I was young and I bought a negative cash flowing first time home, it depends how long you want to sink for. But at the end of the day, I wish everybody the very best. I hope that this woman here that they talk about in this article gets out ahead, and I hope that things turn around and in fact the Canadian housing market once again goes to the moon and everybody becomes rich overnight, and that the nation can print its way to prosperity. But until next time, I wish you all the very best. And like I said, I'm going to keep on being me. I want you guys to keep on learning. I want you to keep on working on getting out of debt. I want you to become critical thinkers, and I want you to keep on coming back for more with the Meager Millionaire.